Well, it's time for a new month, and it's time for a launch of Now It's Jungle Time, Delightful Dimensionals. And let me just show you how absolutely charming this is. So there is the jungle in all its glory, and on the back you can write your message. I've got so many more ideas from Debbie. Won't you please come play with us? Just in case you're not familiar with the basic crosshatch die, let me just show you. It comes like this. There are 4 pieces, and you're going to cut, well, actually all the directions are on the back, and that's really handy because you can keep all of your dies just inside this. We call this a wallet. All the instructions are right there, and you end up having this beautiful arch background, and then these pieces that simply slip together. So that's just great because this is very movable. So you're going to tuck it in your card, or excuse me, in your envelope, and they will fit our 10 envelopes perfectly. And then when the customer, when your friend receives it, they just push that, and it's going to stand up. And that works nicely. Now, every month we have a brand new die that will work with the basic crosshatch or on its own. And this month it is Jungle Time. And as you can see, there are 11 dies. And with all hot off the press products, there is an idea on the back. I just showed it to you, and directions for making it. But let me just bring this one back in again to show you, and we'll get a nice close-up. So again, it's flat when you mail it, and you just push that to the left, and it's going to stand up. Now, that sign, it's a jungle out there, let's see, and others that you're going to see, reach for the top. Those are part of our free gift this month, so that works really nicely. And you can see that this was designed just so that you can do a lot of things. So you can see this, this is not the tree, but it is many of these branches that are back here. The tree is right here. We've got our little monkey on top. We've got our bird of paradise, our elephant, and our giraffe. So we've got everything that's on the dies are here. But something I wanted to show you, in fact, you can see this. We'll get in really close, so let's do that. So look at the giraffe. Now, all of these ridges on that giraffe, as well as the lines on the elephant, as well as those on the monkey, are all part of the die. For the giraffe, let me just show you what you can do is, in fact, I have one right here, and I'm going to take my craft mat just for a moment and lay it right here and bring the Velvet Fawn ink pad. So because those are there, you can simply this is using the blending tool rather than the blending brush because this will stay flat. And I'm going to take the Velvet Fawn and just lightly brush. I'm not sure how much ink is in there. Evidently not a whole lot, but let me just do this a couple times to give you the idea. Okay, come on, Velvet Fawn, work with me. Okay, I think you can see it starting there at the top. Look at that. How it just is going to color those ridges perfectly, absolutely perfectly. It really looks like you've got 2 dies going on, but no, that's not true. It's just that we have done them so that this is going to work easily. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'll bring this to the side. And also on this one, in fact, you'll be noticing it on all of these. Debbie used different papers to create this. Now, in this case, you can see all the greenery going on, and on the back, you can see this kind of image that's going on, plus the small little cutout there. And those are from, this might be a surprise, Golden Botanical. This has papers in it that are green. And then she has also used the Golden Botanical solid. So you can see it has the browns and the tan that she used and so forth. So that's just going to work nicely. And then in doing her elephant, and I'm glad you got in close, so get in closer, there you go. The elephant, she simply die cut it twice, trimmed that little head, and foam taped it on top. For the monkey, let me bring the die in. She also did it twice, and then she cut just his chest and face and glued it down, so she had some different colors, so that worked nicely. The bird has been done out of the blue and then inked with the violet ink pad, and all of the leaves have some of the khaki ink pad just brushed on the edges, so that just really makes them stand out much better. So, and so that's just, well, that is using all of the dyes. And you can see that, like this sprig of 2 leaves, how that works so nicely, just kind of filling in space just to make everything look very, very tropical. So that was great. Okay. And so the ink pads are khaki, violet, and velvet fawn. Now, those are the ones that are used really most of the time on all of her projects. So I'm going to scoot that in. And then for her markers, she used tan, pink, pale pink, and ice gray. And all of those are listed in the materials listing. So you'll see those down below with all of the cards. But isn't that fun? Okay, so I'm going to fold that down, and let's go to our next one. And here is this. Now in this one, okay, so I'm just going to, you might as well have that movement, don't you think? So I'm just going to pop it. Now in this case, she did the same thing with the giraffe, but here under the tree with the monkey, the face was done in 2 pieces, and that chest piece was done, but the face has been foam taped on top. Welcome to our jungle. Isn't that fun? And you can see now this has got this kind of blue dotted background. Well, that came out of At the Lake. Isn't that interesting? Yes, it came from at the lake. And also she used At the Lake solid to do her animals and the trees and the foliage. Now on the back of this, let me show you. So she cut the front piece out of a piece that on the back had this image. And look, she's got her elephant there. Monkeying around is allowed, good to know. You might be wondering about those fun signs, and I'll be showing you about that in a moment. In this case, she also did the same thing with the tree, and I wanted to mention that. She did the bottom part of it out of brown and then did another one out of green and then cut them apart so she could layer that tree so nicely. Okay. Here is Debbie's next one, and I have to tell you, I love this because I have a fondness for elephants, but isn't that cute? And he's walking, or they are walking through a flowers field, and that comes from Meadow Blooms 6x6 paper. So she cut all of those pieces out of the Meadow Blooms. Let's explore together. Also on these elephants, you can see that the head, that the piece was die cut twice, and then the head was just cut out of one of them, foam taped on top. Little bit of inking to really show off the detail. And our giraffe is in the back along with the palm trees and so forth. On the back of this one, we have just this really pretty tiny floral print, and we've got our tree, again, done twice. We've got our monkey and our bird just flying. The Love You comes from the We're Together Dazzles, and isn't that fun? So you might just think you've got one look in this cutting die, but you've got several that you can do. Now for her card, here's what she did. Now this is using the Wildflowers and Wildlife papers. This is a 6x6. So on her 5x6.5 inch card, she first put down the Wildflowers solid. And this is what this package looks like. There you go, all those colors. And then placed the 6x6 on top, trimmed it down. And in this case, you can see that the elephant and the monkey are actually just the one piece, but she used her markers to accent the edges and to give it a little 3D look. In fact, she even folded one of the leaves to give that some dimension too. And you can see how, though, it's been happening with the trees and the branches in the back. This has got Happy Birthday Dazzles. And then on the inside, we've got our giraffe and our bird and to the king of the jungle, and then more of the 6x6 papers. I like that little branch going over the top of that giraffe. Really cute. So whether you decide to use oh, maybe the elephants or only the giraffe. Excuse me. You have lots and lots of options with this set of cutting dies. And our free goodie that we send with the Money Saver, Money Saver's on the right side of the screen, is this sheet. It's got all of those greetings, and you've got tons of them, and you are welcome to photocopy it if you like. But all of that monkeying around is allowed. Welcome to our jungle. It's a jungle out there. Reach for the top. All of those are right here. So you don't have to do anything except trim them out. So that's going to work. So the Money Saver is going to include the basic crosshatch, the jungle time, and as I said, it will also include this. If you would like to get the subscription, as I said, we do this every single month, we have an option for you. It too is on the right-hand side of the screen. However, with this, you will normally get this before the webisode, and you will save 10% off the retail. So that's a nice bonus. This month, however, we had a delay in receiving the dies. They are supposed to be here the beginning of next week. We will rush them out immediately, and everything will come as normally it does. But this time, it's a little bit later, and we do apologize for that. So sorry, because that's not how we usually do things. But, you know, we can't control the world, I'm afraid. If so, things would be very different, wouldn't they? So Jungle Time is the theme for this month, and we've got just so many fun ideas for you. And I guess I would say to you to welcome to our jungle here at Paper Wishes. If you are watching this on YouTube, I do want to really stress that these are only available at paperwishes.com. So we do invite you to head on over so you can take advantage of this absolutely charming set. And on the sheet of the dies, you will see how tall they are. The tallest one is 4 inches with that tree, 3 3/4 with the giraffe. So they're just a nice, generous size. And of course, you can play around as Debbie has done so beautifully with all of these projects. If you, again, on YouTube, like I said, please head on over. You will see not complete instructions, but certainly a listing of the products and where Debbie used which product. That's down below. Just click on any of the cards and you will see that. And this is what we have for this month. And here is the launch. I'm very happy to have this. Very happy to have you with us. Won't you please join us every time? Actually, we have about 25 webisodes every single month. So not only will we create product for you, we'll buy product from other companies, but we'll also give you ideas for how to use them. I think we're the only company that does that, and we do that because we want you to be successful, and it's always fun to have new ideas. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Debbie, for, as always, a wonderful job, and thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.